What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of Rappers in My Backyard, the podcast that stays lit. We rap about relationships, music, and entertainment. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you had a great week and even a better day today. Our topic today that we're going to be rapping about is truth. And on the grill, we will be throwing females in hip hop then and now. And you know, I like laying the groundwork of every show and conversation with a quote. So here it goes. When it comes to crowning the family matriarch, only one quality is clearly necessary: an undeniable desire. And that comes from Pinterest, and that sets us up nicely to talk, express, relate, connect with our special guest. Suga-T is in the backyard. What's up, Suga-T?
Hey, what's cracking?
Hey. What's cracking with you, Queen?
You know what it is. Just keeping moving through the movement.
Yeah, I know that's right. So before we even get beginning to talk, I just want to tell you how beautiful you look in your crown. And what's up with your crown? And you got it on today. Tell us what that crown represents to you.
Right, thank you. You know, it's a rapidemic. So representing the rapidemic, it's a movement. So the movement, I'm just here to make sure that I stake my crown in the game, making sure people are clear, of the participation of helping, create the avenue for the ladies of today and making a stamp in the hip hop world. So, sometimes it's not always fair how it's being addressed, from different outlets. So I said, I'm just going to crown myself, and not just from a level of a hip hop movement, but, from so many different angles, and hoping to inspire other women to, not let others identify them.
Right, right. And you know what? Right now it's inspiring me because, every day as women, we get up and we got challenge after challenge. And just seeing you right now in your crown is reminding me that I must always wear mine as well, no matter what it is that I encounter. So thank you for that motivation to kick us off today.
Yeah.
So, what you been up to, busy lady? Tell us what you've been up to.
Oh, shoot. I'll try to put it in a nutshell. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, just keeping the movement, running the enterprise, trying to make sure that I enjoy every element of being a woman, my
Mm-hmm.
domestic handling, my lineage, and making sure that they are a part of my life and we don't miss out on too much, and
Yes.
give them all that I'm supposed to give them. You know how that goes. That's what we're here for. We're here to breed and teach as women. So, just giving all I can. And of course, I have a world of adopted kids, so, and sisters and brothers, and just
Mm-hmm.
being able to be an inspiration while, continuing to keep my step in the game, working on the 20th album, The Rapidemic, and, making sure that that album and that conversation, is a movement, hopefully, of change where all voices in female hip hop could be heard, and we could change the narrative to what hip hop has became. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. And we need that narrative. And speaking about queen and speaking about matriarch, you are a part of the first family of rap trap in the Bay, being that you were the matriarch, the lead lady, the head boss involved with the click movement. Tell us how all of that came together, and also add to that the history of how you got into the game from the beginning.
Okay. That's kind of a long story. It's been 36 years. Uh, you know, Music was a part of my life. I grew up in church. So we grew up with a church from my grandfather and my grandmother, and learned instruments and I led the choir, and that started at 5 years old in a church, playing drums and playing the piano and playing guitars, and just building up the musical element in the church and being a part of the choir, and trained to sing in front of, as a leader, it's early in front of the crowd. So that was my beginning stamp. And of course, in
Mhm.
between time, just experience the music world and business world all together. Um, and of course, being a family member of brothers, because as you know, the first family of rap, the clique, is myself, my brother E40, my brother D Shot, and my cousin B Legit. So just really being able to, experience the life experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, in music, out of the music, in community, in the hood, in every angle where you come together as a and do things and build and take away and grow and and come to a place of music, and music being another common ground for us. So putting a stamp in the trap game from the beginning, has been a as a trailblazer, and seeing many, many others follow that same path. And up to date, here's 36 years later, of movies, music, producing, and coached as a record label. Myself, I was coached as a record label and ran as a record label for many
Yeah.
years. So, of course, eventually branching into having my record label as a sister support, and continuously just writing music and producing music, and performing, and and using music as a platform to provide information, and hope to issue out some change as a matriarch, because some things need to
Yes.
be fixed. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And because of starting, the thing that I really like about your whole get down is that it started from family. And that's an element that we are really lacking right now, that element of family. So to start that out as your with your family, you guys had a lot of time to learn and help grow one another, which is very different than when you're just out here on your as a female artist yourself trying to navigate your way through the business. That's why I was so excited to have you on the show, because you had the opportunity to be well supported without have to deal with the rest of the game that goes with that. If you were just out there as a female trying to get tracks and trying to get people to show you how to get into this business.
Well, at the beginning, of course, I was coached by my aunts,
Okay.
in the church, and it wasn't purposely. It was like, look, it's your turn to sing. I'm sick of singing. Your turn. You get, no, 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 let's get her. No, I'm sick of singing, that kind of
Right.
thing. And of course, it was by desperation we learned instruments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the musician didn't show up. We had to make it happen. We had to get on the drums and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, it wasn't in any way spoon fed. I was on the block. In terms of rapped on the corner, I didn't come in the game with my brothers. Matter of
Okay.
fact, they didn't sing in the church. I did. So, I kind of had different experiences. And then at the beginning of, before I came and founded hip hop, I was protected, don't get me wrong, from my brother
Mm-hmm.
and sister. You know what I mean? So, but the beginning, the producer that we ended up working with I worked with him before he knew my brothers, and before they even knew I worked with him, and before
Okay.
he worked with all of us. So I did have to, experience a little bit, but it definitely was helpful to be, gamed up and come into it with an understanding of how to produce and run a machine that did
Mm-hmm.
cut out on a lot of things, even to a point where I didn't work with them all the time. Nothing was spoon fed to me. Matter of fact, I purposely stepped away to make sure that I was clear on my path.
Mm-hmm.
After 16 long years of success, platinums and golds, and dealing with certain things, and I kind of, what they say, jumped off the nest. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, in that space, you get your own mindset. You start kind of realizing that you might have some different desires at that time. There may be some different priorities. As a woman, you have to tend to your family, you have to tend to
Mm-hmm.
you got to go home and cook and clean and wash, or you can guarantee you're going to lose your man, and you're going to, your house is going to be filthy, and everybody don't want any maid in their house. And, I didn't want nannies raising my kids, and I didn't want my mom raising my kids,
Yeah.
so, or nobody else raising my kids. I had them to raise them myself. So there was definitely a difference, because it's a difference from men and women's responsibility.
Yes.
So I had to
Yes.
pull out responsibility as a woman, and when I did get free, my mother was at the airport. And as soon as I roll up, the boys can do whatever they want. I had to get, you can't come get your kids. You know what I'm saying? So it was a different little setup. I still had to deal with reality. And and at different times stepping away from the game, because of that seed of understanding, the
Uh-huh.
difference in being a professional and understanding that's what it really was about, and because of my time was valuable. It's like I can't
Yeah.
be out here just hanging out with y'all after so long. It's like I got to get back home to my kids.
Yeah.
Get one shot at this. So that was really what made me be a no nonsense person, was, the fact that I have to get back to the reality, and never really got to escape that by choice. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, and I kind of stepped off the plane of the field of understanding already the game. I'm like, I got that packed down. Hip hop is easy. Running a machine is easy. This, that is easy. I need to go get some education. I need to see if I got other skills to use, just in case this ain't my calling. I don't want
Yeah.
to be stuck in the world just only being known as a rapper. I only get one chance to raise my kids. And shortly after, when they became adults, I became a grandmother. So, I had to experience some of the trauma and
Yeah.
drama that a lot of the artists had to, but only because I was multifaceted and developed different streams of income and opportunities for myself, and, have more to bring to the table than just the basics. It allowed me to have a little bit more leeway.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I want to get into some of these many things that you have going on that you're just juggling and maintaining and making just great work for us that want to learn more about this game called hip hop and being an artist. Let's talk about your Sprinkle Me School of Music. I mean, I think that is an amazing idea and a necessary tool. How did you come up with that, and what was your inspiration behind it?
Well, I started off with Sprinkle Me School of Music and Vision. And
Okay.
yeah, and then I felt the overlay of it should be Sprinkle Me Learning Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's definitely a training tool that, is necessary. I'm an educator. I love to teach and share and information. When it's available to people, I think when they know better, they can do better. And it's just
Yes.
added value for people to get straight to the point of something they're trying to pursue. So the Sprinkle Me Learning Academy has a segment that is based around music and vision. Um, Very minimum. It's a focus. Mine is, it's more so a focus of coaching, development, training, and exploration. So, everywhere from cooking a sweet potato pie, you know what I mean, to to entrepreneurship, to professional development, to um, coaching to a win, training coaches and mentors, to staff development. Alongside of, we do have a women's working academy, entrepreneurship, visionary, and creators academy. So, it's a well-rounded experience in the school, and, having the ability to share the information and provide, extra elements that's necessary to get us straight to the point. Started that in like 2015, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been a great tool, and especially during the pandemic, being able
Oh
to.
my goodness, yes. Because it's more than the courses that you offer on there. It's about the strength that you are lending to the people that you teach, how important it is for them to have their own unique voice. Because all of those courses, from getting to know the business and learning about artist development and just learning about how to be in charge of your own business. The nucleus of all of that is about being able to get that special project called you in tune, to be able to receive the opportunities once they present themselves. So
Absolutely.
that's that's what I really loved about it. I was just sitting there looking at the courses, and I was just saying a lot of the young artists right now, being that the record company is not the same way the record company was back in the day, they're not providing any artist development. They're just taking these young artists, in my opinion, without that being something that they offer, and just throwing it up against the wall and sort of seeing what sticks.
Right. Well, honestly, I'm not an advocate to, for artists. I think artists are oversaturated.
Yeah.
Um, I'm more of an advocate for leaders, and
Yes.
people who want to be more than just an artist. I just think it's
Mm-hmm.
so oversaturated and it's such a distraction. I mean, if we don't get a handle on this, then we're not going to have any doctors and lawyers and teachers and
Yes.
people that
Uh,
can take care of us when we get older. And then this star mentality is just really unhealthy. Everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants to
yeah.
be seen. Everybody. So it's just, I'm definitely not contributing to that. I serve organizations and groups. So
Mm-hmm.
we have lots of information for reentry, for the prison movement in terms of, intervention prevention. We have, information for, like I said, staff development, professional development, just really teaching people how to transition and keep growing, because that's what,
Yes.
professional development is about. And we have
Mm-hmm.
other stuff that's not visible on the site because they can't just
Okay.
go into them all the time. They're available for our other clients through
Mm-hmm.
our training division. So I'm just really not only focusing on talent in terms of artistry. Artist
Right.
development is probably one of the last things that I enjoy doing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Unless they pay me, a significant amount of money, because we pay into our brands, and
Yeah.
and they need to learn how to invest in themselves, and it makes them appreciate, more so when somebody does, by them paying for something. There's
Yes.
too much of an entitlement of a mentality, which is a part of the rap epidemic. That's the part of my album. That's why I called it the rap epidemic, because it is a rap epidemic. Everybody wants to rap.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like so sick of rappers. Do we all have to rap? I mean, I don't like to rap. I enjoy and do it doggone good. 20 albums over 30
Uh-huh.
years. Of course, I have albums that are singing albums, blues
Uh-huh.
albums. I had to balance it out. I can't just bang up my head with just one conversation like that all the time in
Mm-hmm.
the same format. It's just not healthy for me. And I don't
Right.
think it's healthy for any of the viewers. I think that's a lot of why we have a lot of oppressed communities, while we're the behind generation of and genre of people who are not growing, limited finances, why, there's just broken and traumatical outcomes from us modeling behind, of this industry and running behind and chasing the carrot. Um,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's not the record labels. It's not their job to do, artist development. It's not their job to. I think that was a blessing that they did.
Yeah.
It's our job to, to take care of ourselves. And too many people get in the game, and think they got it under control and know everything. And most of them don't even want to hear you when you do try to share
Yep.
information with them. So I'm not really in it for that. I'm in it for just the balance of people learning more than just that. And as far as the musical and creative classes that I do have, they're really just helping people understand the do's and the don'ts, more
Yes.
so just to kind of keep them a little balanced so they don't get beat up too bad, and so they can kind of have an opportunity to utilize that artist development experience, like you said, but
Mm-hmm.
through, but for the purpose of not saying, oh, I'm developing you because you're about to be a big star. It's like, wait, we got plenty of stars.
Ah,
Trust me. It's just like, you get a lot done behind the scenes. So,
yes.
it's a great place to be, to have a balance here. And that's what I like about the Sprinkle Me Learning Academy, because, you get a well-rounded experience,
Yes, you do.
and thank you
And you
for.
get an opportunity too to know your lane. So y'all make sure y'all check out the Sprinkle Me School of Music with the online courses and all sorts of things for discovering who you truly are and your voice and the momentum to keep on going despite every and any circumstance. And, Sprinkle Me is my favorite song. I sprinkle myself daily in the morning. And I love the fact that you also have a wellness brand. So, talk to me about Sprinkle Me and how I can sprinkle myself with all the wellness and love that you are offering in this brand.
Okay, I'm gonna have to hook you up, girl. Well, I got I got the Working Well Health as Well cafe. That's
Okay.
a part of the health. It's an online workout platform and health as well platform. Is to help people be healthy and inspire
Mm-hmm.
from a place that they can depend on or go in and out of and create a cafe for themselves in the school Health as Well
Mm-hmm.
cafe. I'll give you definitely will give you a scholarship. And I also actually have a workout program. It's going to be starting every Wednesday. It'll be live, where we'll be doing a live work it well workout. It's a
I
dance.
need a membership to that.
I will make sure I let you know for
Yeah,
sure.
let me know. I will definitely come and join you guys on Wednesdays. I'm serious.
Okay, okay. I'll be looking for you.
All
And
right.
we're gonna start not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after again for this week.
Okay.
But that is the work it cafe, and so we have all different type of pieces that goes with work, the work it brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then of course we also have the Sprinkle Me dot business, Sprinkle Me boutique, where we have a multiple slew of products, fragrance, beauty products, and wellness spa. So we have oils, fragrances, we got spa products, we got lipstick. My new lipstick is
Ah,
vegan lipstick.
yeah.
Yeah, healthy lipsticks. We got all different types of products, in the cafe. So people can, I mean, to the store, so people can go to Sprinkle Me Biz and check out the productions that we create in house. And also, we produce products for other people as well. So we're able to keep that thing going. And the rap epidemic gets back to, to our wellness. I think we need the balance in society,
Yeah.
and rap is turned into a pandemic, and that's the purpose of rapidemic.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movement is about enlightening people and getting them to think and reprogram themselves and get back balance, because we got to get a handle on this, or at least sow the seed and make it aware that there's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, and there's definitely a problem. And I think that that sets us up nicely, Suga-T, to go to the grill. Let's go to the grill. Let the flames go ahead and blow and
Hey,
burn up the place.
let's get it.
Ah, there is nobody I would love better than you to talk about this particular thing we got on the grill today. Females in hip hop then and now. I want to talk to you about how we had to get in the game, some of the challenges we had back then versus now. Those challenges seem, they're still challenges, but they're a lot different than the core challenges that kind of occurred, I know, when I was coming up in the game. So I felt with 20 albums, matriarch, queen, you know what I'm saying? And really taking your gift and just multiplying it in so many ways through your beautiful voice would be the best person to have this conversation with. So you ready to go, Suga-T?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, queen. We in this. Well,
All right.
I'm gonna sprinkle some of my. This is my new Sprinkle Me Good. It's a
Ooh.
spicy sauce. It's brand new for the season, so I'm gonna sprinkle this on it first
Okay. Sprinkle.
on that barbecue grill.
All
Get a little
right.
bit of taste on it. They can find that now, seasonal brand for
Yes,
it's Sprinkle Me
indeed.
Biz. Thank you. You're saying your question is
Well, the discussion that I want to throw on the grill is females in hip hop then and now.
in and now.
So let's kick off then. When I
Mhm.
got first got in the game, Suga-T, I know you came in, you didn't come in with your brothers and all of that. You came in through the church. Me, when I came into this game called hip hop, it was all about you had to get with a clique of guys and you be the one female in that clique.
Mhm. Right.
And that was kind of rough for us because I know it was rough for me because it was like a dichotomy in reference to how I was perceived. You
Yes.
know, I couldn't just go in there as an artist and just do my craft and use my voice. You
Yeah.
know, I always had to be concerned about other things besides just doing my artistry. You know what I mean? I always had to basically make sure the guys was okay, had to deal with the other stuff they bring to the party. You know what I'm saying? Which is, you know,
Hmm.
the loose women and the undeniable different other things that took place.
Yes.
And, you know, I brought my mom to the studio with me when I recorded. And so they used to tease me about that. Oh, you ain't got to bring your mom to the studio session and this, that, and the other. But it just seemed like at a certain hour, everybody switched from my brother to possibly wanting to be my lover, you know. And so I just want to talk about and set the scene for our audience, sort of how what it was then, and then we can kick it to what it is now. Just out of me and your eyes, just sister to sister, queen to queen.
Yes.
So, what was your interpretation of then?
That's a good point. So definitely I came into hip hop with my brothers. I
Mm-hmm.
started off as a singer. So Studio Tone was working on a singing album with me with another lady, which was my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Who and then me and the best friend, I got pregnant. Excuse me. I moved, and then
Okay.
eventually I had another best friend, and we came in the game as females in
Mm-hmm.
hip hop. We made biker season. My brother adopted me into. We were like a posse MVP because it was
Okay.
most vicious performers. So it was all these people, neighborhood. I was like family and family, and I was the only female, like you said. So we had like so we was split up in groups, but the female we weren't necessarily in that posse in terms of the group of the clique yet. We were biker season, sugar and spice.
Okay.
We made a song called Biker Season, Sugar and Spice. But what happened is I got pregnant and then she got pregnant. And so
Wow.
she went a different direction. So we still friends, but she went a different direction. I wanted to continue to do it because I'm like, shoot, we just started having fun. I might as well I can get away from my kids and go hang out. That was my whole thing. Like
Right.
coming in, it was all fun to me. And then eventually I got put to work. It was told, "Yeah, okay, here go the paperwork. You need to go get this contract. You need to go. So I ended up getting put to work, which was great because that's what taught me how to run the machine. But I eventually was adopted and basically founded the clique. And they
Mm-hmm.
pulled me in and was like, okay, I got you. You come with us. That way they can protect me. Like you
Right.
said, they can run me. And boy, did they protect me. Whew.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then they, so that I can learn and be with them, which was the best thing to do instead of
Mm-hmm.
being out there loose. So well, I was very blessed to come in the game protected. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? From the gate. That was really a great opportunity. So I really didn't have a lot. I had guys that was around sneaking, trying to get to me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But my brothers was like, nigga, you bet not touch my sister, nigga. I see you looking at my sister, nigga. Don't be looking at her like, don't even look at her like that. They,
Right. Right.
they wasn't playing around, okay? So
Yes.
whatever I had to deal with to a point where I couldn't stand them. I'm like, can I kick it? Y'all all having fun. Y'all at the strip club over here doing this and y'all doing that. And I'm bored. Can I have fun too?
Yes.
I was so annoyed with them. But it got to a point where I'm so appreciative because I would have been a wild animal out there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was what helped tame me. And I'm sure I was like meat to anybody that I would have come across, but they literally blocked me from everybody, even to a point where now I think people are afraid to work with me today, like right
Yeah.
now. They don't even fool with me. You know what I mean? Because I guess because I'm not a benefit. They can't sleep with me. I don't smoke weed. I don't hang out. It's like,
Yeah.
what can I do? Nothing. And they also know they can't play with me neither because it could be some possible problems. You know what I mean?
Right. They
But
don't want to get clicked up and clicked
right,
out.
right. So that's really a hard place to be. So
Yeah.
I experienced in that way. I experienced a lot of biasness and bullying and blockage and because of that as well as because of you know um the change as you had spoke about in my
Mm-hmm.
conversation through the years. You know, at the beginning, the conversation is cool, to talk about, kicking in sex, money, alcohol, drugs, violence, stripping, banging out, boom, boom, whatever it is, all that, what nigga, what, it's
Right.
cool at the beginning when you're young like that. But I outgrew that very quickly because I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to go home talking to my kids like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want my kids having to hear that music all day long after I realized the content, and how it could really, hip, the mentality can sow into your spirit and you could become that and start a whole nother energy out there for yourself. And the energy it brought to me was okay, when they gone, it's just me. So
Yeah.
let me get some things in my space that make sense at the end of the day, because the men can go out there and they could lead the kids with their mom, baby mama. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The woman, you need to go home and get your kids in order, and that's the bottom line. When they can go run around, you home. Otherwise, it's not the same. Not saying that it's a male, I'm not looking at it as also biased. Men don't have responsibility too. That's not what I'm
Right.
saying. I'm saying there's no touch like a mother's touch. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
it's no feeling like a mother feeling like she raised her own kids, period. It's not a good feeling to feel like somebody, unless they just have to. If you're not sick, if you ain't on drugs, if you're not, in a position where if you can raise your own kids, we need to be raising them. So
Yes.
that's real talk. You feel me? So that's the difference. So for me, for back in the day, as you stated, then and that now, everybody, I think it's different for everybody's clique.
Mm-hmm.
My clique was, I stepped off the bird cage. But I seen the change in the female transition. Yes, we did. We had our groups with one female,
Mm-hmm.
but they also let us shine by ourselves too.
Yes.
They didn't force us to have any type of specific brand. We just representing whatever we was. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
it wasn't that we had to, we was able to be us, period. And
Yeah.
and conditioning of the community wasn't about, oh, now if, they're not sounding like the new artists and they not relevant. It wasn't like, they were more, it wasn't conditioned like it is now. Now the programming is so different, you
Yes.
know, and it changed somewhere around 2000, where 2002, 2004. That's where somebody got a little, I think maybe male chauvinist, or somebody had a different agenda and started making it seem like you had to be endorsed by a man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I believe I'm almost thinking it started with Nicki Minaj. So
Mm-hmm.
when she came out, I heard her by herself and she was smashing. She didn't need nobody
Yes.
to hold it down for her. But the men came behind, and I almost am thinking that they did this on purpose, to put us under control. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? As females. And all of a sudden now everybody's endorsing her. And the next thing you know, everybody think it's about a feature now.
Yeah.
This is in terms of for female hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's not the same for men, even though it takes an endorsement and they do the same thing similar to the men, but the older men don't have to suffer as bad as the older woman in this game. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like they kind of put it where there had to be a endorsement of a male. And then somebody got naked and they found out that, the naked people on the reality shows, that they can create a brand and sell the product, quicker, which was genius.
Yes, it
But
was.
that was for that person that was able to be a stripper and tell everybody, oh, I'm a brand now, and and build it up. Then everybody started all of a sudden want to take their clothes off like her.
Yes.
So then all of a sudden everybody, either you got to be endorsed, or you got to be a stripper. So that's the difference. Is now it's like they're trying to block the other brands and
Mm-hmm.
they've conditioned society and created a programming that makes it look like the females have to be endorsed by a man, or and it's the truth, because people are falling into that. It's conditioning. It's called classical conditioning, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're influenced by what's around you. So through these years, they've made it this way, and they don't seem to want to fix it, because not only for the sake of this mindset has come where now all these females is copying off of the one that got naked first. Now all of
Yes.
a sudden, they're competitive. They want to show they got a body too. Now they fixing on their bodies and trying to add butts and this and that. And that's cool, but everybody's trying to follow this same mentality of wanting to, show off their body and think that's the way to get successful. It didn't
Yeah.
make it no easier that the new generation come behind them and don't want to work hard. So at the end of the day, that's just another excuse to not have to take your time and work like we all had to. You know what I
Yes.
mean? In terms of, being able to, to gravitate to working hard and sacrificing. So now they want the quick lick. So they want to go and run to the strip club or, run and get naked. And, I ain't mad at them for that. That's their thing, but that's
Right.
not the only thing we are. So my whole point is they're blocking us with other conversations, and they're not
Yeah.
opening up the lane for us and supporting us, and got nerve to tell us that we need to be like them when they're doing an old thing that we did in 1984 at the end of the day, in 86 and in the 90s. They're
Yes.
not recreating anything. They're just doing what we did, but the difference is they're running it to the ground now, and they're blocking the other conversations. They're not allowing, not the artists, but the industry elements, the media, the men that are older that know they should be supporting us that won't, the ones
Yes.
that got scared and lost leadership ability and are not mature yet to see that we need a balance, so
Mm-hmm.
they got scared. Oh, we got to work with the youngins. We got to work so we can keep going. No, you don't have to work with the youngins. You already got a brand and you got a machine. Stop being scared. There's too many other ways to make money too. Sometimes you got to be in a mindset that's like, oh my God, it's just the right thing to do, you know. But I get it, because they are kind of much immature, obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
maturity will make them say, "Oh my God, do I want my granddaughter to think this is the only way to be successful is by taking off their clothes or
Close.
talking smack and put her in situations of danger, like many others have become in different
Mm-hmm.
situations of danger because of this, trying to live up to this mentality." The getting shot in the foots and the getting ran out of the crip world and the this and that because of different decisions that they're making, based around them, still growing up and being able. It's okay to still grow up, but they're putting them in these positions and not really giving them the other side of the story. And later they got to look at themselves, and they're the ones that's going to have to suffer from it and live like that, and not even enjoy their success at the end of the day.
Nope.
So you know what I mean. So it's different because now you got a different. You got everybody's got their hand in the pot and want to have their own agendas, and they've carved it to just only be one sided, and it needs balance, and that's the difference.
Yes.
Also, it's easier. Let me tell the positive. It's much easier because you can definitely present yourself online. Thank God for that. So even if you're being blocked, you can still get some stuff done. When back in the day, if you only have one outlet, so
Yeah.
you was really doomed if the machine didn't mess with you. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But now that there's other tools out here that we have access to, as long as we learn them, then we could bring some sort of a presence. But I wouldn't never rely on that being the only presence. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It would have to
Yeah.
be multiple streams. That has to be done in a realistic manner, in safe manner. So that to me is much of the difference. Yeah, yeah. That's
You let me tell you, I think that we did a world tour on that. But let me just hit on a couple few things that you said in unison so that when we get off this grill, they'll be able to eat sufficiently cuz you dropped a lot of stuff within that. But the main thing is through all of this is that as a woman there's certain responsibilities that you have to have for yourself, and thank you so much for wearing your crown because that's the first responsibility that you have for yourself as a woman and these beautiful gifts that you've been given. And one of them is that gift between your legs. So my thing is that we got to learn that we got to use our head and get back to what it originally what it was about, which was expressing your voice in a way that's motivating, respectful, and moving the culture forward. And we got to stay there. And that's why your input is so valuable. That's why everything that you are doing right now is so valuable because we can see that through someone like you. So I just wanted to say, I can't come behind that, girl. You seasoned it with your delicious sprinkle me fragrance and we burnt it. And so let's put that fire out. mic's going out, my earphones here.
Well, girl, thank you for warming up the grill for me. You did a good job keeping it warm for us.
And you did a great job seasoning it. So let's get back to it. So, how was your experience as an artist translated your voice as a speaker and a coach?
So, how was it translated as a speaker? How did it go? How did I go into that? That's a good question. Nobody never asked me that. How did I end up doing that? My journey has been very rough. It's been
Mm-hmm.
quite a ride. According to what I just shared earlier about how rough they has made it for artists to survive, I
Right.
have to create incomes for myself. I definitely, have been put in different positions, and it was by choice because I chose to step off the. I had to do what was right for me at the end of the day,
Right.
and there was a level of of growth that I needed to accomplish on my own, and a level of responsibility to be spiritually mature, to get my mind right, to become well based around some of the things that I did experience that was traumatical, through the
Mm-hmm.
many years. And at that time, it was about making sure that my first responsibility, which was, being a mother, and, and enjoying the well-rounded opportunity to be a woman, and
Right.
all that we were created to do here on earth, as a mother earth. So in that, you have to take a lead, and it's a sacrifice, and people get it twisted. People then got so fake, where
Yeah.
they don't see you, smashing and in the public eye every second. And because of all that, the artists that have basically taken first priority, and they've crowned and came, now all of a sudden they're the queen of the game, and they smothered our brands and taken our SEO, and and the men, and people that could share, being selfish and male chauvinist, and things off track, or not balanced, or ain't paying attention, or greedy, or scared to
Yeah.
to man up and look out, because you might be considered not rough enough for them, because you don't want to be super rough, because it's not necessary. We should have a voice for everybody in this game. Everybody should have a voice. It should be
Yes.
different types of presentations of hip hop, not just sex, money, alcohol, drugs, violence, stripping, and bullying. That is like so played out to me.
Yeah.
I'm just not comfortable with only talking about myself all the time. And I was forced to get out here and say something, because if you don't say something, they'll just assume, and they'll create your story for you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in that, in the transformation of becoming a transformation and life skills expert, survival was of the fittest for me. I had to
Yeah.
survive, because they just kind of left me. Like, okay, you
Mm-hmm.
thinking you this and that, and you want to go get your education, but figure it out. You ain't using your education now. Why you need me? That kind
Yeah.
of thing. And it was like I got punished. People literally wanted to punish me. And at the time that I did have an opportunity to get a little bit more support, I just wasn't ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it would be there for me when I was ready, because my time was, this is my time. I'm only going to have this time with my kids. I'm not going to see them at 11 again. I'm not going to see them at 12.
Yeah.
They're almost out the house at 18. They don't have to be here with me. I need to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that I give them all I got, and I need to make sure they okay, and I know them, and they're not going to be sticking their needles in their arms later saying, oh, my mom ain't being around, so I'm killing myself, or I'm getting high, I'm jumping off this building. I didn't want to live with, people using that against me. Oh, you didn't raise your kids. So,
Mm-hmm.
people do all kind of stuff. It doesn't, it don't separate you from dysfunction. It doesn't separate you from certain things just because you deal with the music entertainment industry. So I had to deal with everything that the average woman has had to, explore. I've been through a domestic violence relationship. You've been abused, you get the wrong people, you get vulnerable and in the wrong arms. I've been misjudged. I was underrated. I was beat up because of not wanting to sit in front of the camera all the time. I always felt like I can get back in front when I want to. It's not, I
Yeah.
don't have to sit in front of a camera to feel like I'm relevant or important. I'm important right here in my house when I'm cooking some chicken. You know what I mean, girl, or some salmon, or eating something and making sure my kids is here and we watching a movie. That's important to me. That's A-list.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's like, because of my leadership ability to make that sacrifice and do the total opposite of what people probably felt like I was going to do, they would
Mm-hmm.
underestimate me, and sometimes just be disrespectful about my calls. They busy trying to get to my brothers and why I'm not smashing with my brothers or why I don't want to. I'm okay.
Right.
I can do this myself. I'm good. My brother don't have to go home to his kids and be the main, principal parent. I do. He has a
Yes.
wife. My cousin or all these other men who are moving around a certain way. Some of the other women that's in front, they don't have kids. Let Cardi and all them people run around. Let Nicki Minaj, honey, when she get proud, when she get a man and get somebody gravitate to her heart and she have a kid, she gonna want to sit down somewhere like she doing now too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just a woman, and we should have that right to become a woman and have a well-rounded life experience without feeling like, okay, it's over for you now, so bye. It's time you
Yep.
didn't stop, so now you retire. You too old anyway, and you need to be like them if you do. It's like I need to be like, who? These are kids, and they doing what we did a long
Yeah.
time ago. This ain't new. This is not relevant. Y'all making this relevant. And it's
Yep.
relevant to the young generation because they're just now coming in the game. They need to be taught their history. And y'all are not doing them a just due by allowing the younger to only be the ones in their face. They don't need to just hear one message. So we got all these, moving pieces around that's making things rough. And that experience put me in a position where I'm like, you know what? I am going to help. I want to reach those who have been like me,
Yes.
rejected, because all it took. I'm gonna call you back, baby. I'm on an interview. Okay, you okay?
Yeah, okay,
Okay, bye bye.
but
Love you too. So I want you see how I answer my kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think could be going on. I don't want to get off and be like, oh my God, I was on this interview trying to be so focused and my baby, something happened. So I'm a
Yeah.
real mother. I
Yes.
I like nurture. I like love. I like caring, and most of us are, but it's not being shown because people want to be
Mm-mm.
so raw and so I need and they want to be so hard and it's like, no, it's okay. We hard naturally. Somebody run up on me, I'm knocking them out. It ain't no, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. So
Yeah.
because of this mindset that has taken precedence, and I know you can relate to me, girl. That's what I mean. You're gonna say something.
Yes.
But this mindset that they didn't took precedence of like, trying to prove a point and everybody gotta be cool and and the stuff, it cracks me up because there's certain words that's being used and we are like savage. I'm like, and I have nothing against the young lady, but savage is
Mm-hmm.
old. That's not new. You know what I mean? That's like an old word. We used that years ago. Nigga, you're
Right.
savage. So I'm appeased by how people forgot about where things came from, and
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden they moved with the hype. But in that movement with the hype and not keeping it 100, they was blocking me out. You know what I mean? Making it
Yep.
harder for me to get stuff done when I did want to do music. So when I did want to insert my brand, when I did want to explore, I should have had a right to be a mother, to be a wife, to be this, to be that. Long as I could deliver when I show up and my stuff is raw, I should be able to run my own lane. I shouldn't have to be, oh, you got to be like them now. No, y'all being followers. I'm a leader. Y'all supposed to
Yep.
be strong enough to lead too. What are you guys talking about? Be like the kids, please. Be like the kids. That's why half of them getting killed now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh
So
my goodness.
I'm just like, I'm sick of it. So the bottom line is because of this mentality, this was a part of me. I had to walk and figure it out. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to always go begging somebody for help. I didn't want to go to my family and be like, oh, could you help me? No, I wanted to make my own way. And if I was in a position, I did not want what came with it. Oh, there they go again.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people can't understand why you're in certain situations. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes you got to work with what you got till you get to what you're trying to get to. So to make a long story short, along the way, there has been a little support from time to time of people who can relate, people who
Mm-hmm.
did live to look for people that was like me at that moment, rejected ones, people who was pushed to the side, people who just needed to hear something positive, people who know
Right.
about mistakes and like, okay, I know you done this and that, but it ain't about that. Let's get you going. Let's just start from here. Because, some people around you don't even want to deal with because they keep you in that box, and they never,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And
Yes.
the worst ones are the successful ones. The worst ones are the ones that, that have not, that can't relate to you in your life because they haven't been there, and instead of them wanting to relate so they can learn, They would
Mm-hmm.
rather judge you, you know what I mean, and put you in this box. And instead of trying to support you and help you, they would rather want to be correct and deal with you as such. See, I was right. Now, see, I told you. Now you're gonna listen. That kind of thing. I didn't want that. So I went
Yeah.
around the circle, around the block, on the whole different corner, to try to get to this space. And in that, I found what it takes to build people, and I enjoy building
Building
leaders.
people.
Leaders get attacked. You
Yeah.
know, leaders go through hell and back. Good positive leaders, there's a dark energy that fights us, really
Mm-hmm.
bad. They want to shut us up. They don't want us to be a voice, and you have to, and I fought all that energy. And so that's what I do. I get behind leaders and I support them and I love on them. I get behind the ones that fall on the ground and that just need something positive, something to get them back aligned and to get them in the right direction as a vision partner. And I had to work everything out myself. I had to learn how to do my own websites. I had to learn how to make my own flyers. I had to learn how to do my own marketing. I had to learn how to. So doing that, you know,
Brought
I
you to all of that. And
girl,
you know what, Sugar
ugh,
T? Like I said, you've done so many amazing things. Me and you could talk for 2 hours, but I want to just talk about the caveat of everything and because you 20 albums in, 30 years in the business. Let's just talk about Truth the Rapidemic and let them know shortly how it came together, where they can find it, and how we can follow your movement, girl.
yes, for sure. 36 years,
Ah,
1984. 36 years, 1984 was the beginning. And up to date, you guys can find me at Sugar-T.
uh-huh.
Suga-T. If you just put in Suga-T, I will come up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, um, and Twitter. And
Okay.
my website is sugat.com, and it links to every part of me. It links to my enterprise. It links to content information, the new album Rapidemic, my story somewhat, and other things that you can look for. I have radio shows and media outlets and different places where you can hear these kind of deep, kind of real conversations.
Yes.
Trying to hoping that we can come away from the shallow element that is worship today. And hope that you guys can be a part of the Rapidemic.
Yes, indeed. We are on board for the rapidemic. So, you know what, Sugar T? I know that you had an interview before me and you've been rocking and rolling all day. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us today. We love you. And I wanted to also put another shout out that you're working on your PhD. You are absolutely unstoppable. You are the matriarch and you are the head of the clique. So sprinkle me with that love that you got and that fire that you got inside of you, because your voice is magnificent. And like I said, I love everything that you're doing, not for artists in general, but for that product called you, which is me, which is us, and how we need to get together and improve ourselves as individuals first so we can see what we can truly do with our lives. So thank you for spending your afternoon with us. We started off with a wonderful quote to set this up. We're going to end it with it. And it goes, when it comes to crowning the family matriarch, which Suga-T definitely is, only one quality is clearly necessary, and that is just an undeniable desire. And our guest today is undeniably unstoppable. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in to Rappers in My Backyard, the podcast that stays lit. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell. That's how you're going to find out about everything that's going on the podcast and about exciting guests like we had today. Suga-T sprinkled us with some serious nuggets, momentum, motivation, and love. So, once again, thank you so much, Suga-T, for rocking with us today. We love you and appreciate everything you're doing to push the female in hip hop and in general forward. Let's talk, express, relate, connect next week, you guys. I love you and stay with it. Suga-T, y'all. We out. We rap about relationships, entertainment, and music. You heard?